Hello there, and welcome to another episode of League Bits. In this episode, we're going to be talking about the support position. I will be giving you a few constructive tips that you can take from the laning phase to the endgame to try and carry your team to victory. I need to emphasize that this is not a technical guide. We're not going to be looking at the intricacies of pre-6 laning phase. We're going to look at more general things you can do to affect the map and the game in your favor. So with that in mind, let's begin. Sometimes, depending on matchup, you really don't want to sit there and passively farm the first wave or two. You want to push to get that level 2 advantage so that you can engage quickly and zone the enemy team. This means that if you're able to disrupt the back timing of the enemy bot lane where only one remains and you are in a 2v1 advantage, it's important you abuse that. Your ADC can freeze the wave by only last hitting in order to CS, and you can poke and zone the enemy support, or ADC, depending who remains in the lane. Now, zoning and using your experience advantage is a very important concept in bottom lane, and it begins at level 1. As you can see, Caitlyn and I are able to get a level 2 kill on Nanami by focusing her down. Subsequent to this, Xayah remains in lane to try and farm as much as she can while gaining experience. My job as a support is to make sure that she doesn't. I try to keep her as far away from her CS as possible while Caitlyn slowly last hits in order to give us an experience advantage. We can then use this later on in lane when contesting vision, trading, or setting up ganks. When I say don't be the Atlanta Falcons of support, I really mean it. Don't throw your lead. Make sure you have vision control and vision denial of that entire area. If a support comes to clear a pink ward, contest. You have a lead, you can 2v1 or even solo in some cases, as I do here. It's also imperative because their jungler cannot really gank you if you have enough vision that you can back off before he gets there. It wastes his time and doesn't give their team any advantage. I'm a jungle and a support main, so vision is an important part of my gameplay. If your bot lane has good vision control, it's much easier to have a successful gank. And as a support, you can easily set up your jungler for that successful gank. Make sure you keep track of summoner spells, burn them where possible, poke down where possible, and start engaging before your jungler arrives so he can clean up and help you really secure that kill. Now, depending on what elo you're in, the ADC mid laner and top laner might not be looking at the minimap so much, they might be really focusing on the CS, and this is where your ability to carry comes into play. As a support, keep track of everyone on the map for your whole team. Get that deep vision where possible, and then, of course, roam where appropriate. If you've gained a lead as a bot lane, it's your job as the support to roam and become a second jungler. Get that deep vision and keep control of the map. That's a crucial aspect of carrying as a support. You don't have to worry about CS, you can effectively play like a jungler at certain points in the game. Now, if you're behind, you don't want to go face checking into the enemy jungle and try and ward. Ward as far up as you can while being safe. In this example, I know that the ADC's gone back and the support is by herself. So what I did is, I pushed off my vision, regained control, zoned her, forced her to go the long way around to defend the bottom tower, and because I know that their ADC is back, the support is wave clearing and my ADC is ahead, I can then go impact the map in a different way. I move my way up to the mid lane, and even though I miss my E, I force Ahri back into Syndra where we can chain together our abilities and make sure we secure the kill. We use this to push us 3 and get the first tower gold. This transitions us nicely into the mid game. Maybe you've gotten 2 towers, you've picked up a dragon, and by the grace of all the ancient gods, you aren't the only one placing control wards. Now, a note on control wards. You need to use your vision and vision denial to make picks. This is much easier if you actually move your control ward from the bottom tribush. Many times I see supports place the control ward in the bottom tribush and they'll forget it thinking, I placed my vision, I'm good. You're not, you're no longer playing there. Laning phase is finished. You need to continuously move the vision with your team, okay? This will allow you to look for ways to skirmish, make picks, and group. You need to take advantage of lopsided maps when you can, and the only way you can do that is if you have vision. Here I helped Syndra make a pick on Ahri. I cleaned out the vision, put some more on the top side, Ahri had no idea we were there, and we simply both used max range stuns, chained together, to get the kill. Now I know immediately, hey, the mid laner's dead. I see 2 people bot lane, I haven't seen the jungler in a while, and top side has no vision. My immediate reaction isn't to go back and think I did such a good job. I mean, I did, but there's no need to sit around and pat myself on the back. I look up to the top side, and I'm anticipating Kha'Zix to show. Even if he doesn't, I can simply make a gank of my own, relieve pressure on Yasuo, and open up that top side of the map even further while we have a numbers advantage. Now, as you can see from this gank, as I flick over the vision from my side to the enemy team, Kha'Zix has no idea I'm there. He last saw me mid lane, and for all he knows, I went back. For me, I'm anticipating Kha'Zix either showing up, or at the very least, blow sums and maybe get a kill on Poppy. I used the blasting cone to jump over the wall. My prediction was correct. I walk right into the clutches of Kha'Zix. We immediately combo him so that, of course, he cannot escape with his ult and his jump, and we chased down Poppy. Finally, let's talk about endgame, because I know many of you would have done all these things and more, gotten a lead and thought this is in the bag, only to be destroyed in a few team fights and you lose, questioning life, league, and happiness. I'll run through a few general tips and then give you a few examples of what I mean. Firstly, don't go too aggressive for engages. There's no need to flash engage their entire team and go, woo, look at me. Your team's far behind you. You're dead. Now you lose. Secondly, before you even teamfight, make sure you have control of your side waves and vision of important objectives. There's nothing worse than winning an entire game, losing an important team fight around 35-40 minutes, only to lose the game because you weren't watching that both side waves are pushing into your inhibitor towers. Make sure you communicate this to your solo laners and people who can split push. Thirdly, when you have an advantage, use it. Know when you have a 5v5 advantage and abuse the fact that you have the confidence over the enemy team. If you have that lead, you most likely, or should, have that vision control. Make sure you engage and take advantage of the moment. And this is important even if you're not the one engaging. If someone else lands an important piece of CC, follow it up, chain it together, make sure you can get the pick or win an entire team fight from it. And finally, I'll just say this, know your role in the team fight. If you're meant to peel, if the enemy team has a great set of divers and your ADC is being wiped out every fight, know that it's your job to peel for them. Keep them alive. Don't go in on the enemy AC and go, look, I killed them while, everyone else in your team is dead. Trust me, it can happen. So now let's look at a few examples. I'm going to take a look at a Maokai engage I took from the side here. I managed to poke them down with my completely overpowered saplings, and I saw them retreating. I made sure to angle my ultimate, knowing that it speeds up over time, in order to hit at least a few of them. Fortunately, I locked up the ADC and I locked up the Morgana. This lets me follow up and W the Caitlyn, making sure she's rooted in place, all the while still being near the Twitch. Yes, the enemy Gragas misses his body slam on me, but that's besides the point. My positioning is with my ADC, my engage managed to trap them and allow my TF to ult behind them, and because of this we won the team fight. This game was remarkably close and even at this point. This one team fight let us get Baron and completely snowball to victory. However, because of this my team got a little bit too excited and started pushing top lane as 3. The enemy team tried to push and engage on them. Fortunately, we had vision control, and I was able to flank and hit a nice ult, forcing them essentially just to turn into my team or be rooted. This allowed us to clean up 3 of them and push to end the game. All from 2 team fights because we were all aware of our roles as a team. In this final team fight, I am actually not the one who engages. Syndra lands a really nice stun. I just follow up with my E. Now Misfortune tries to ult our entire team. I know I have Zhonya's and I know I still have my ult up. Even though I can't do the typical Zyra combo, I make sure just to face check her ult, walk into the area, and ult her, knowing that the damage will be enough to kill her. I Zhonya's just before I die, and this allows the rest of our team to clean up and push forward to the tower. I then zone Ahri, which allows Syndra and myself to get that inhibitor tower, and we use our positioning against the wall to ensure that none of Ahri's skill shots can hit. Even though I miss my E, the plant is doing a ton of damage and slowing her, allowing Syndra to kill her. Now, I've saved my exhaust this entire time, because I knew Tristana was still up and I couldn't get to her before. Tristana comes in thinking she can kill us. I exhaust her, we chain CC, Syndra uses her Zhonya's, and yes, I'm a little lucky to actually survive, but I'm able to get off a full rotation of spells to get her killed, giving us the team ace, and then we push to end the game. So as you can see, whether you're engaging, follow-up engaging, or peeling, it's important you know your role in your team's fighting. This can be the difference between victory and defeat. You also need to realize that your summoner spells don't need to be burned all at once. Your Zhonya's actives don't need to be burned all at once. Carefully plan ahead what you intend to do in the next team fight. Don't blow any advantages you might have unnecessarily. Okay, that'll do it for me. I hope you learned something from these tips and you're able to translate these into your own game. So thank you very much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you learned something and enjoyed this video. Also considering sharing to any support mains you may know, or those people who are auto-filled and could really use the help. Let me know in the comment section what topics you'd like to see covered next, and I will see you guys in the next tutorial.